Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 3925. They have dash 3500. What we're dealing with here is this is a 3925 latch bolt for the 3500 series. And that's why we're probably adding the series after it. This lock might work with other, this latch bolt might work with other series of locks. This is a drive-in latch. This is 2 3/8, and this is what a drive-in latch looks like. It is literally a cylindrical latch bolt that is intended to be installed down into a 1-inch hole that you're going to drill into the edge of the door. Okay. Wood doors, obviously. There's no mortising to be done, no screws to hold the faceplate on, and is really used as a means by which to make life less work for the person prepping the door for the lock. That's just the bottom line. I don't believe, I would say that there's no other redeeming value to a drive-in latch other than less work. Long-term effects of a drive-in latch, I would say, would not be advantageous because the latch, pressure on the latch over time will ovalize or make oval the hole that's in the edge of the door. This is, these are used in residential applications, so it's really nothing that anyone would really ever concern their self with. But drive-in latches, this is for a cylindrical lock, which does, in my opinion, make it fairly uncommon to really see. If you're doing residential work, you're generally not installing cylindrical locks, you're putting tubular locks on. Tubular is generally considered less costly than cylindrical, but decorative, high-end decorative locks are, residential locks are tubular in construction, and they're anything but inexpensive. Nowhere on here are you going to measure 2 3/8. And that's because cylindrical locks are defined by the backset from the edge of the door to the center of the hole, like all other locks. But in a cylindrical lock, this connects with the chassis on the outer edge of the chassis. So my backset is really from the edge of the door, to the center of the 2 1/8 hole, the hole in my hand. So that's why nowhere on here will we measure 2 3/8. I can tell just by looking at this that it's 2 3/8. Edge of from the outside of the bolt to the back end is about 1 7/16 inches. This ought to have a face diameter of about 1 1/8 perhaps, something right in that range. About 1 1/16 is what we're going to be getting there. The diameter on this black sleeve is, it's 1.22 inch, and that has a slight taper on it, as you can see here. And if we took the dimension on that slight taper, let's just say the body itself. Body itself is 0.867, and that tapered area is 0.978. So the concept is this is going to go into a 1-inch hole. This is going to collapse onto itself, and this outer sleeve is what's going to keep the latch bolt really in place. When it locks into the chassis, the hub of the lock body, it won't go anywhere. It will be firmly held in place. Now, there is a link below this video to a document called Template. That is of use to us in the sense that it shows us a lock prep and does indeed tell us a 1-inch hole in the edge of the door. It does kind of show you what it looks like. When you're installing these, I would always take a wooden block, depress the latch with the wooden block, and then rubber mallet it down. Then there is also a link below this video to the product catalog. That's certainly going to be helpful because it will allow you to review from the 3500 series all of the parts that are permissible from that series. So you can, for instance, do a find function on your keyboard. It doesn't appear to be working here. That document has not been made ready is not OCR compliant. As you scroll through it, you'll get to where the latch bolts are, and you're just easily going to see the 3925. It is a spring latch. Its sister product is the 3922, which is the 2 3/4 version. Now they have a different version for the privacy, a different part number, which is 3926. And I will tell you why. I had to think about that for a moment. I don't know this positively, but I'm guessing it's this. When the door closes, the latch bolt's going to hit the strike and it's going to force that back. Okay. This latch bolt construction on a passage is certainly, so these are for passage sets. Yeah, passage only. It'll work on a privacy, but the privacy won't work right. Meaning, on a privacy function, when you push the door closed, if you have pushed the button in, walked out of the bathroom and pulled the door closed behind you, wanting to lock that outside lever, let's say, a privacy function ought to force the inside push button to pop out, to automatically unlock the condition of the privacy. So that latch bolt is going to be different because of that function. Surely that's the difference. Then, of course, they're spring latch, which means they don't have a deadlocking feature to it. So they can be Lloyded. You can just push that open with the proverbial credit card butter knife. They do make deadlocking functions, which you would use on any keyed function. They're gonna fit into the chassis of those other functions. You can use a dead latch on a passage. It's just there's not much of a reason to really do that when it's a passage. The deadlocking feature, when that deadlocking tab is held in, you are then prevented from pushing the latch down. This is a spring latch, so it can always move. The rest of the catalog is handy because it will allow you to review other associated items that go along with this stuff. Backset extension links are there as well. You can take your 2 3/8 latch bolt and kick it out to 3 3/4. You can go to a 5-inch if you add a 5-inch extension with a 2 3/4 latch bolt. Strikes are listed there as well, but also it's a full line catalog of the 3500 series, so it's certainly a useful document. Below this video is no other information we've not covered. There is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, or any other Hager product that you might have any questions on. Please feel free to reach out to us, and thank you.